On today's episode, we have two gentlemen who took their roots in theatre and became pioneers in their own fields. Having them here is quite a risk for me because they know me much too well and it is quite likely that they will turn the tables on me. Mantra, Sarang, welcome to the show. Sarang and Mantra, welcome to this episode of Unscripted with Akarsh Khurana.
Everything in your life is unscripted.
Particularly my plays, yes.
Where is the script of the play that we are going to start working on in the next 2 days?
See, the thing is that,
You should ask this question 2 days before the
but
show.
also you just told me you're going to Russia for 15 days in the middle of rehearsal, so now I'm taking it easy.
सब मेरे पे
Now-
बिल फाड़ दे.
So actually, we've kind of tricked you because this episode is really about that one project that you all have done together with me called Hijack. So we're only for 1 hour going to talk about Hijack.
But how
So-
will we tell people what it is about? It's nowhere to be seen.
That's true. Since no one knows about it and it's only on my Google Drive, we'll change the topic then.
Ask Sumit Vyas.
Okay, fine. Then I'll go to my script. Then. Also,
Listen. I'm serious about this.
I am also very serious about this.
We
In
should
fact-
just
So,
we should.
yeah.
I have decided that I'm going to be extremely serious in front of you today.
I mean, you're wearing glasses that have one round frame and one square frame. So, and apparently, it's a shirt that once belonged to someone who died.
Even the
So,
shoes.
like,
Yeah, that person hasn't died.
oh, he's just given you this shirt.
No. It's thrifting.
What does that mean? Can you explain thrifting to
Sec-
our audience?
Buying second-hand clothes
You have bought this off someone.
off someone.
Like he was wearing it and you
No.
liked it.
That's what you do.
Did you take it off while
That's
he was
what you
wearing
do,
it?
and that's why I was not ready for this show because at the end of the show, this might be on your body.
So, okay, no, actually, there is some serious conversation
Okay,
that we have. So, I'm getting into that right now. One of the reasons that I called both of you, besides Hijack, of course, is, and I will get to the main reason that I called both of you. But before that, to start off and just warm up, both of you are now in Bombay, but not originally from here.
Yeah.
You're from Pune, you're from Indore. And while y'all do a lot more than theatre, in fact, you've left theatre, right? As in,
But you managed to get him back every time, Akash.
I mean, under
Yes,
duress
I-
mostly, but so,
Yeah. Now I exclusively perform for Akarsh. It's just for Akarsh.
no. So actually, the question that I want to just start off with and kind of warm and Mantra first, and then you. I mean, from Indore and despite the other stuff that you've done, just in short, like what was your journey from your beginnings in Indore to getting onto stage? How did that happen in your life?
I think it all began in Indore and from just the way it happens with everyone. School theatre happened and post-school theatre. We had a small group in Indore which जहाँ पर हिंदी साहित्य के नाटकों को
But Indore में
बहुत
theatre
it's
है?
a-
Is it
it's
a
beautiful
buzzing
culture.
kind of?
Absolutely, it is. हमारे यहाँ पे रंगमंच के रसिक कहलाते हैं और रसिक है जो आते हैं दूर दूर से आते हैं, they'll watch it and खास तौर पे the Bundelkhand, the Rai,
Right.
the local folk theatre is very, very popular over there. And some of the classics have been adapted in Indore in a very, very beautiful form. And from Court Martial to many other plays that I'd been a part of when I was in Indore. And I think that's what set the base for me. And
So you joined a group after school. That you
yeah,
were doing
in fact,
theatre.
during school itself. And there was this play called, what? The Ghost of Canterville? No.
The
Canterville Ghost.
Canterbury Ghost?
Canterville Ghost,
okay,
जिसपे
yeah.
हमारी हिंदी फिल्म भी बनी थी अब
Yes.
है नाना
yes,
पाटेकर was
yes,
part
yes,
of
yes,
it.
yes.
So now I got a chance to play the ghost and I was very excited, but little did I know that they'll put up a mask on my face.
Nice.
And somebody else was voicing for me because those days and then late 90s उस time पे इतना सब
Someone
कुछ
voiced for you?
yeah,
Mantra?
can you imagine? Because वो mask पहना हुआ, so all I had to do was
Little did they know.
so but yeah, from there and then to Delhi actually shaped my theatre career.
So you associated with some group in Delhi?
Yes, many of them actually. Majorly, I worked with Sohaila Kapoor for a
nice.
long time. We did a lot of plays together. I remember we did a play called You Must Give Me Grandsons, and the star or the lead of that play was a boy called Kunal Nair, who many years later I found out is the actor in The Big Bang Theory.
Bang Theory? Wow. Wow.
And I didn't. And in fact, we did 2 plays together. One for Sohaila, You Must Give Me Grandsons, and then there was this Infinite theatre group from London with जिनके साथ हमने एक play किया था. The Irresistible Rise of Arturo
Arturo
Ui.
Ui, yes.
And again, Kunal was a part over there. So Delhi shaped.
Kunal's a Delhi boy, is he?
Yeah, he's a Delhi boy.
Wow.
And in fact, in those days also, he was just visiting Delhi during holidays, but he didn't want to lose out on acting gigs, and he wanted to refine his work, and so that's what he did. And we did 2 plays together, and Delhi shaped my theatre career. Like I said, वो मंडी हाउस की गलियों से गुजरे हुए, never got a chance to get inside NSD, but got all the vibe from it and learned from all the masters over there. And then Mumbai, of course, when later on Mumbai happened, Atul Kumar happened for me, Pia Behrupia happened to me, and and I'm not just saying it because you're here, but when AK Various happened to me, I learnt a new aspect of theatre, and the fact was the word play was actually prevalent and was most used when it comes to AK Various. It's a play. We play. हम लोग खेलते कूदते रहते हैं. It's right over there, and that's what it all
That's a
about.
good way of putting it.
मैं awkward हो जाता हूँ ना. I was only saying up to stage. Sohela का पूरा सब तक ठीक था. And then after that, so Sarang, about your beginnings in Pune and how did you make your way? I mean, I think of course you started theatre very early there, I'm assuming.
No, in fact, it is assumed always that if someone is from Pune, they like sort of have theatre as part of their life quite early in their life. Especially because intercollegiate theatre is huge
Yes,
in
yes.
Pune, and like Amay Nipun, all the actors whoever are from Pune and have been on your show, I'm sure they have some roots in intercollegiate theatre. And
This is that Karandak.
Karandak,
Yeah,
Purushottam Karandak,
Right.
Firodia, Suman. There are and different type of Karandaks. So not just theatre,
You
but
know
there
about
are
this format,
Yes,
this
yes, of
Karandak
course.
yeah.
format?
So there is
So-
theatre reading competitions, improv competitions. There is proper theatre competition. There is musical theatre competition. So throughout the year, it keeps you busy in theatre when you are in college. And with the intention of doing theatre, I somehow got into BMCC, which is one of the important colleges when it comes to theatre circuit.
Theatre, correct. They have a proper...
Yeah, proper theatre hall and rehearsal space and whatnot. So with that intention, I got in, and लोग जैसे बिगड़ जाते हैं, मैं गलती से सुधर गया था थोड़ा सा. So I, by mistake, with my friends around, I thought I should become a CA instead. And started,
Instead of theatre, you should
instead of
become a
yeah.
CA.
So I started,
Which is quite a normal kind
yeah.
of...
So I started
transition
like
for people, yeah.
yeah. So I started studying hard and वो सब हो गया. मैं maths में fail हो गया. Which is
As
like
a CA, that's
as a
not
CA,
good, I suppose.
not good. And also,
It
it
would
was my
affect your
favorite
employment
subject. So,
Okay.
And I had scored like school में 142 score किया था 150 में से. तो like I thought कि maths तो आता है
तो
मतलब
आता ही है.
तो CA का maths नहीं आ रहा था. तो then out of frustration, I was like, this is not done. So I can't take this much pressure in any education system. Like I shouldn't be doing this to myself. And that's why I joined a theatre workshop which Shashank Shinde from Pune was conducting in our college for college students. And I just couldn't leave that hall after that. In that 1 year, last year... Huh? No. No, in that last year, a lot of politics was happening in theatre circuit. Like in general, like people... हर 10 साल के बाद नए लोग आते हैं ना, वो टाइप का ट्रांजिशन चल रहा था ओवरऑल पुणे थिएटर सर्किट में. एंड सो वी ऑल गॉट लकी, लाइक whoever stepped in at that time, me, Radhika Apte, Nachiket Purnapatre, Amay, Nipun, all of us like became like that generation which changed Pune theatre group circuit. Because Sudarshan happened. You've been at Sudarshan. And,
Sudarshan Rangmanch.
Yeah,
the hall,
Sudarshan
yes.
Rangmanch is a very small intimate theatre for those who don't know about
Right,
Pune. And that was a movement in its own good. Like because before that there was no space for experimental theatre. Like
I
good.
see. Okay.
And anyways, so हम जिस
But
प्रकार के
Marathi experimental theatre is...
Existed.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it happened in larger spaces.
No, so they had to struggle for this thing.
Okay.
Sandesh Kulkarni and
Yes.
Shashank Shende, all of them were doing good. But they had to sell their tickets by writing letters. मतलब वो postcard से घर लोगों को न्योता भेजते थे और लोग आते थे, and it used to happen in a school. But bigger auditoriums, only if the play is like an epic, ऐसा एलकुंजवार का प्ले है, तेंदुलकर का प्ले है, तो then it used to be like some audience. लेकिन नए writers का कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं हो रहा था. And so similar to what happened in Chabildas in Mumbai, similar movement happened with Sudarshan. And we all sort of got, as we were in last year of college and things like that, we all sort of got dragged into it. So I did theatre with everyone in Pune, almost like I did Grips theatre, jo German style theatre for children. Then I did plays with Sandesh, I did plays with Girish Joshi, I did play with Girish Kulkarni, I did like every possible person who was there and who was known in Marathi. We tried to just go to their houses and like हमको कुछ काम दे दो, art कर लेंगे, light कर लेंगे, ये कर लेंगे, and eventually met Mohit Takalkar, and that's when I landed up in Asakta, and then theatre really got serious for me.
Wow.
Eventually, it got disintegrated for various reasons, economical reasons. किसी को कुछ काम आ गया, कोई बाहर सीखने चला गया. But there was like at the peak of Asakta when we were doing Tu and Garbo and Purna Viram, those plays. At that time, it felt like this is going to be life.
Have you seen any of these shows that he's mentioning?
Yeah, I'm in awe of Asakta and what they have done in the past. I haven't missed any of the Asakta shows in the last couple of years for sure. Hunkaro recently has again
Yes, I'm trying to watch it very soon.
shaken my core once again. For me, I think Mohit's one of the most strongest plays that I saw initially was Yusuf.
Yusuf.
मैं हूँ Yusuf
So
और ये है मेरा भाई.
all of this Mohit's recent work is outside Pune.
Yeah, that's outside. Yeah.
And Pune, Mohit was completely different. Now it's completely different work.
Yeah.
Now though he works with NSD actors and Rajasthani actors
A
and
lot with the
collaborates
Jaipur,
a lot. Yeah.
with the gang.
Jaipur
yeah,
clan,
yeah.
He collaborates a lot, but earlier it was just Pune and few like 10 people around. That's what happened.
And did like he tried to become a CA and was miserable at it. Did you ever consider another line of work?
I was never in the performing arts line. I started off as a hotelier.
Yes, there's a great story about that.
Yeah,
which is
I had to,
how your
I-
life changed as a hotelier.
Yeah,
So,
it's a life-changing experience. I was actually working for a five-star hotel in Indore at the Taj Residency, and I was doing everything from F&B to reception to bellboy. I used to enjoy being a bellboy. Tips मिलती थी, बड़ा मजा आता था. मुझे मालूम भी नहीं था सामान ले जाने के 10 रुपए मिलेंगे. But yeah, you're absolutely right, because that story of me giving a wake-up call to a guest, and that
you
guest
know this?
like.
You know,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
I've heard
okay,
this,
yeah.
And that guest liking my voice and offering radio to me was a life-changing experience. I was उस time पे मैंने सोचा नहीं था that it'll end up being what it
You
is.
gave
but-
someone a wake-up call, and it turned out to be
yeah,
Vinny
dude,
Jain.
it was. I was just working on a night shift, just like any other receptionist. रात का काम था. Even before I got into accounts, by the way, Lalia. Before I could do school का accounts, I was working in a होटल, और होटल में ऑक्यूपेंसी रेवेन्यू रिपोर्ट्स एंड रोज रात को बैठ के रिपोर्ट्स बनानी होती है, और उनका मॉर्निंग टास्क रहता है टू गिव वेकअप कॉल्स, एंड दोज वर द डेज ऑफ फिजिकल वेकअप कॉल्स व्हेन यू एक्चुअली हैड
Yes,
टू
of
कॉल
course,
समबडी, एंड इट वाज जस्ट वन ऑफ दोज डेज, एंड आई गिव अ वेकअप कॉल एंड सेड गुड मॉर्निंग सर, 6:30 ऑन द क्लॉक, होप यू हैव अ ग्रेट डे अहेड. और सुबह सुबह का मॉर्निंग बेस था.
मैं अकाउंट्स का मेरे को कुछ दूसरा ही वेकअप कॉल मिला.
इसको कॉल बैक मिला.
I got a call back. I got a call back.
बोला उठो उठो, ये तेरे से नहीं हो पाएगा.
And that call back changed my life, because that
was-
gentleman was somebody who was in Indore to do recce on radio stations. He was there. The entire Times of India team was there to start off a new radio station, and that was the beginning of Radio Mirchi. And they offered me a job of a morning jock, and that was the first ever private FM radio station of the country.
So one thing I wanted to ask both of you, and I know you'll have diverse experiences with this, and obviously when you've kind of come into the world of performing arts and you become stage actors and all of that, the natural progression then tends to be working for screen. So just tell me a little bit about your relationship with cinema. I know that you've also been an assistant director
Yeah.
and all of that, but what is your relationship with cinema per se? What do you feel about it? How much work have you managed? And
One interesting thing about Marathi industry is that cinema, theatre and television comes together.
okay,
Everyone sort of cross paths. Like
Okay.
it's not that theatre industry is completely deprived of cinema, or cinema has nothing to do with theatre. Most of the actors, directors, they have done theatre. They still do theatre, and they will continue doing it. They are writers who have written screens. Like for example, one of the greatest screenwriters for Marathi has been the biggest playwright also, Vijay Tendulkar. Like a film like Samna is still like held as like one of the best screenplay, and he also happens to be a great playwright. Same thing with actors like Nana Patekar, like all the big names that you have heard, Atul Kulkarni, Sonali Kulkarni, everyone have come from stage, and they still go back and do stage. So
Which is
it's,
strangely not there in the Bollywood
yeah,
scenario.
it's a
Yeah,
very
not at
strange
all.
Not there.
thing.
In
Yeah.
fact, it's there in the West. In the West, you have a lot of screenplays that are written
But they
by
don't mind.
playwrights.
In
They don't mind
fact-
hitting the
So-
stage.
In
They-
fact,
So-
even when they get at a stage where they are like icons, at that point, it's
Yeah.
very prestigious to go back and do one play.
Right.
It's still like that. Like still, someone like Nana Patekar will go and attend Tendulkar festival and perform his famous sort of monologue from one of his plays, because it's very important. It's
Kaise
not just
batao
like
tumko mere liye.
so he does all of that. So it always had been mixed. For me also, like after I did my first 3 plays only, I got my first film.
Right.
As an actor.
As an actor,
As an
right,
actor.
right.
First 2 films were as an actor. I have 9 unreleased films, so like not many people know which films are those. But then I started assisting parallelly, because I always loved camera, and I thought like that's a great way of doing this. Theater, in fact, both of them were going quite hand in hand till, in fact, I started my business. It's the business that has taken me off theater, and not the business side.
Which I'm
of,
going to come to.
Yeah.
So, have you enjoyed acting for the screen, and is that something you
No.
actively looked for?
No. I used to actively look for it. What happened is, like, I feel as an art form too, they are completely different for an actor. On stage, you are the most busy person in the play while the play is going on, if you are acting in it.
Right.
While on screen, you are the least busy person.
That's a good
Most
point,
of the
yeah.
time is waiting period, and
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I am an impatient person, have a lot of anxiety. So waiting in vanities is, and you've seen me on set. Like I used to be on set always.
Right.
I hardly used to go back to the makeup room.
We didn't have vanities.
We had a makeup room. I said makeup room. No, I immediately started करना. I was like makeup room.
It was that
Because
boys' common room.
Yeah, boys common room, and वहाँ पे ताश वाश चल रहे थे, लूडो वूडो चल रहा था. लेकिन I hardly used to go back, because I feel like वो जो stage पे होता है ना, कि once you are on stage, it's your field, and you are continuously even if you have a small part, you have to be attentive, and you're always there. But on screen, you just wait, and it's director's medium. So I prefer directing on screen and
Rather
acting
than
on stage.
acting. What about your journey as an actor? Do you enjoy acting for the screen?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But you've been very selective.
I've been because for me my career began with television when it comes to screen work. Apart from
You
theatre.
did a lot of work for TV.
Well, a lot of TV. TV happened first, and then cinema came to me.
Like you were doing soaps and stuff.
No, I was doing fun stuff actually. I was a VJ on Channel V.
Yes.
I used to anchor a lot of shows back then. I used to host a lot of reality shows. But television acting was something that I was never interested in.
Right.
Because
Not in the television fiction space.
yeah, the television soaps is something I could never find myself interested in. I went on sets, I was selected for a couple of shows, but I never went through with them because for some reason why it never clicked कि वो महीने के 25 दिन मुझे देने हैं और एक दिन में 2 एपिसोड शूट करने हैं. But the stage and screen combination happened for me in Comedy Circus. That was a long stint for me, around 5-6 years, and that gave me a lot of recognition.
But what about you've also done films?
Cinema
like
happened.
cinema.
Cinema
So
happened.
What is the first film?
The first film was a film called Tum Mile with Imran Hashmi
Yes,
and Suha Ali Khan.
with the floods.
Kunal
Yes,
Deshmukh
yes. You got
produced.
electrocuted and died in that. Yes.
Yes, I did.
So, yes, but you enjoy shooting, acting in films though.
Yeah.
And-
सिनेमा माँ है, थिएटर बाप है और रेडियो मेरी माशुका.
ये बन गया रील.
Real बन गया, ये promo हो गया. So the question is, why don't you do more of that? Why? What is
Because you're not producing and
But
directing more
I-
films.
I am
You
a-
cast us in Hijack, you didn't cast us in Karma.
So actually, one other commonality that I felt, and this is also my pitch when I was talking to the people at Adyam about wanting to get both of you together, is that besides whatever else there's common, both of you, in my mind at least, and I think that people will agree with me, while having this kind of conventional actors work and that have been in the performing arts, have been pioneers in a field where you've actually gone into fairly uncharted territory for our country. I am, of course, referring to Bhadipa
Body.
and M&M talkies. And they're risky propositions. You all were basically going into uncharted waters. It was you going into like Marathi content in that manner, accessible for the youth. I don't think it existed before that.
No.
And I don't think the podcast and the audio fiction world existed before that. So just talk to me a little bit about how you found the courage to do that. What was the mindset? What sparked this idea off? Because now you all are actually industry leaders in those fields. And I mean, you've left all the other things where I hang behind, but
No, no,
now
no.
you have.
I haven't left any of that behind. I in fact wanted to reach to a stage with this particular business proposition that becomes quite easy to work with. So recently, I like on 6th and 7th of October. In fact, I am sort of putting up a play for the first time in Marathi.
Wow. Oh yeah, you told me about
Yeah,
this.
about Taudi Mill Fantasy.
Yes, yes.
So what happened was that one theater was sort of getting stagnant for me. Not in Mumbai. Mumbai, I hardly did it for 2-3 years, but in Pune, I just felt like it's the same set of audience and same set of people that I'm reaching to.
Right.
So if my stories are not reaching beyond a point, then should I just try to expand my horizon? One was that. Then films was, as I said, like I wasn't enjoying it as an actor. So there was an urge to make films, to tell stories in my own way, and all the things that I had a folder. I have just recently shared this story with someone. I had a folder called Target 2012. Okay, before I moved to Mumbai, I moved to Mumbai in 13-14 with your play, and that folder for 6 years nothing was happening. 5-6 years. So I was like, why is nothing happening? So we started going out and telling the stories, narrating it to different television people, film people, whatnot. Same stories that are being made on OTTs now,
Right.
in Marathi space, and no one was picking it up. And then we were like, why is there no digital awareness in Marathi? Why is there no OTT awareness in Marathi? So Paula and I and Anusha, we started looking into it. If there is any platform where we can sell our stories, that's it. We never wanted to start a business.
Right.
So we just wanted a platform who will buy our stories, or if there is any YouTube channel like TVF doing something, because TVF AIB were big by then.
Yes,
by
of
then,
course, yes.
by the time we started, TVF had already released Permanent Roommates.
Yes.
So we were like, if everywhere it's happening, why not in Marathi? So we started looking, and apart from couple of interview shows, there was nothing in Marathi online, and we were shocked because in Paula's head it was like Canadian population is 33 million, and Canada has the biggest YouTube industry in the world. So all the topmost YouTubers come from Canada,
Wow.
and there are 33 million people. And Marathi speaking population at that point was 75 million, which has gone to 90 million now. Marathi speakers around the world. And we were like, if we have 3 times the audience, like even if we don't reach out anywhere beyond Marathi, though our aspirations are to make it accessible to the entire world,
Right,
and not
more-
stick
yeah,
to Marathi,
sure,
though it's in Marathi.
sure.
But if not, then why are we why not we build something and try to tap into this audience? Start Marathi stand-up comedy. Now bring hip-hoppers. Like everyone started thinking that we will do this first. And so the talent sort of started coming and landing at our office and
So it's
saying that
almost audience led.
ऑडियंस हाँ तो
Okay.
ऑडियंस बोले कि ये भी कोई नहीं कर रहा है, आप करके देखो ना. तो वो चालू हो गया. मोस्ट ऑफ लाइक स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी हैज हैपेंड लाइक दैट. आदित्य देसाई जो दुनिया का सी है, सो ही केम एंड सेड लाइक ब्रो मराठी में स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी करते, तो वो हो गया. फिर हिप हॉपर्स आए थे, उनका एक वीडियो शेयर किया. अभी रिसेंटली दिस क्रैटेक्स नाम का एक एम हाउस म्यूजिक है. इट्स लाइक ही इज अ डीजे,
M House.
Marathi house music. Yeah, and he's going nuts. Like you should listen to him. It's fantastic. तो उसका ऐसे ही शेयर कर दिया. Now it's become like he's part of our community. As in तो अभी we are planning like Marathi house music parties and वो सब. So it just becoming कि वो ऐसा world बन गया because there were a lot of people who wanted this kind of voice. And no one was
had
doing
actually
it.
done it, and then you all, wow.
Yeah.
took the plunge.
Marathi house music, man.
Yeah, I'll make you listen to it after this.
What about you, Mantra? How did you decide that? I know, of course, that, see, you had all the tools. You had a radio career, you were an actor, you were, a storyteller, you've made short films, all of that. How did you decide that this is something I'm going to, was it inspired by the West? Was it, what was the, how did you?
I think I got all the three passions of my life together, which is cinema, theater, and radio. That's how audio fiction became, because it's audio cinema, it's audio plays. I was missing being on radio. This was, I think, I don't know,
Why did you
2015.
stop?
Because I got too busy to do regular radio. वो
Okay.
Monday to Saturday रोज radio station जाना. I tried till 2013, 14, and I had some great bosses who let me do that. In fact, during Lagegi days also, we used to only shoot on Saturday, Sunday, because Abba, Roshan Abbas, he supported me. He said that नहीं बेटा तू जा Monday to Friday radio कर ले, Saturday, Sunday हमारे साथ shoot कर लेना. But after
This
one
was which
point,
radio channel?
this is Red FM in Mumbai.
In Bombay. Okay,
In
right.
Mumbai.
Uh-huh.
But at one point of time, I just couldn't, because I was shooting back to back. I was doing a lot of television work, film work, and stuff like that. So radio से एक natural progression था कि मुझे आगे बढ़ना था. But because I was missing radio, and I love theater, and I love cinema, and I've grown up listening to audio plays. I mean,
The old school,
the old school
variety of them,
मतलब
yes.
ऑल इंडिया रेडियो का एक ऑडियो ड्रामा आया करता था, हवा महल.
Hava Mahal,
which
yes.
Papa would tell us, or all the matlab, this generation wouldn't know about it, or even the previous generation of us wouldn't know about it. It is before that.
Yeah,
So,
I
but
mean, this
No, I've heard
generation
Hava
doesn't. I
Mahal,
know,
yeah,
but this
yeah.
generation don't know Vivid Bharati. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
so
But मेरे पास cassettes आया करती थी.
Right.
We grew up in the cassette
Yeah.
era.
Yes, yes.
So cassettes थी जिसपे हवा महल के ऑडियो ड्रामा सुना करते थे हम. फिल्मों के डायलॉग्स के cassettes आते
वो
थे.
तो करेक्ट याद है. वो तो मुझे याद है. शोले का हमारे
Yeah.
पास भी था एक बार.
So can you imagine, दाता, मैं इससे पहले कि मैंने शोले देखी, मैंने शोले सुन ली
थी.
हाँ,
Wow.
same
सो
for me,
मेरे
आनंद के
जहन
साथ।
में
Wow.
मेरे जहन में जय और वीरू का अपना खुद का एक इमेज था. सो व्हेन आई सॉ बच्चन साहब एंड धर्मजी प्ले जय एंड वीरू, आई वाज अ बिट सरप्राइज एंड शॉक्ड. आई सेड अच्छा ये दोनों हैं, क्योंकि मैंने तो इमेजिन किसी
कुछ
और
और
को
कर
किया
लिया
था.
था, right.
और दैट्स द सेम थिंग आई कैरीड ऑन व्हेन आई वेंट अहेड एंड स्टार्टेड एमएनएम टॉकीज कि यार मुझे ऑडियो सिनेमा बनाना है.
And it's a question for both of you. I'm assuming even you were not sure it would work because
As in, Paula had definite plan of recovery. Like we were sure about economically इसको कर लेंगे balance.
now y'all are
but
both
not on
massive.
this.
Eminem is massive. Bhartipa is massive.
Not
Massive, massive. As in by what? It's as in I think it's a movement.
Yeah.
Everybody is aware of it. You yourself said it's a movement. This is a describe the moment when you realized you arrived
uh,
in this.
it was actually
And you also, huh? So
yeah there is one very sweet moment, like which for me has become memorable and will always stay like that. And one happened after casting couch ka, like around 4-5 episodes. I started getting messages from leading actresses like Sai Tamankar and Priya Bapat, who were like big names at that point in
wanting
Marathi.
to come on the show.
Yeah, they said like, why aren't you inviting us? And at that time, I had done 2-3 shows. One with Radhika, one song I had done with Mithila, that Maharashtra Desha. Then one with this Amez crew of his television show, and one with Shriya Pelgaonkar. All the people that we know. That's it. And fortunately, Radhika had become a star by then, and she was the only industry friend that I had. Else, I was not associated with Marathi film industry mainstream people
I
also.
told you were with the indie.
I was
yeah,
with the indie
art house film, yeah,
house cinema. So for me, it was shocking that like one day in like Facebook request messages, I saw like 2-3 actresses have messaged, and that was one point where I
Sorry,
was
fantasy such a.
Amen Nipun fantasy. It was for casting couch, not for me. So I was like, that's great. Like this. So that was the first sign of it. But I think my most heartfelt moment was like my niece was in 7th standard, no, or 8th standard, and I had gone to pick her up in the school. Because by then I was known a little for this one Marathi sketch show that we did, which became quite iconic. It's still the most iconic show that we have made. And in that I played a character called Babu who never bathes.
Nice.
So like
Always
it's a very
popular, yeah.
yeah,
So,
always popular. So like I went to the school because she wanted that, like, you know,
Little
okay,
moment,
Kaka,
yeah.
Kaka is here and whatnot. So I went, and suddenly all the kids started sort of gathering around, and I was like taking pictures and whatnot. And she said like, one coolest thing has happened. So I said what? So she had gone from 6th standard to 7th or 7 to 8, whatever had happened. And the earlier batch on their what do you call it, on their bench, they had carved with that compass thing, like they had written on it hashtag Bhadipa Shastra Astate, which was our tagline. So they had carved it on that, and she said like, I felt so proud that
school kids. Huh?
school kids have done this in the school. not even knowing
Knowing the
that
connection.
so that's when I thought like, okay, that's being part of pop culture, so let's
Wow.
this is
Wow,
worth
congratulations.
celebrating.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. What about you?
Similarly to Lalia, I mean, there was a time when I was making audio plays,
So
and
you started with Bhaskar Bose.
no, I started off with a show called Mine and Yours, which I had put out
Yes, I
on
remember that.
YouTube
Yes, yes.
and stuff like that, which later on got remade by Audible. The first one was Kali Awaze, and you were a
Yes,
part of Kali
yes, yes.
Awaze, episode 2. You and Dilu both have acted in it. I was speaking to my friends, ki come be a part of audio dramas. You love me enough, and you said that yes, I will go ahead and do it. But most of the actors, they had no idea about it,
What it is, yeah.
and everybody was like, क्या मतलब क्या OTT का? मैंने नहीं नहीं ऑडियो प्ले ऑडियो ड्रामा कहाँ जाएगा? मैंने बोला ऑडियो पोर्टल पे। मतलब क्या करना, एक्टिंग करनी, ऑडियो का कैसा? तो इट वाज टफ टू कन्विंस एक्टर्स टू डू दिस थिंग. वी हैड क्रिएटेड दोस 10 एपिसोड्स ऑफ काली आवाज़ें. इट वाज, एज यू नो, अ हॉरर शो, एंड जब वो 10 नाटक पूरे हो गए एंड आई प्रेजेंटेड इट टू ऑडिबल, that's when they turned around and said that this is too good. This is one of the finest productions we've heard. This deserves an anchor, a sutradhar, a sort of a celebrity anchor जो इस
Yes.
नाटक के टॉप और टेल पे आ
आ
सके.
सकता है, हाँ.
किससे करवाया जाए? एंड देयर वर अ लॉट ऑफ नेम्स फ्लोटिंग इन द एयर कि हम इनके पास जाए, मेरे पास आओ. तो मैं सोचा, मेरे लिए तो सेलिब्रिटीज के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से मैंने क्या ही सोचा, मैं कि बड़ा क्या सोच लूंगा मैं कि किसके पास जाएंगे सूत्रधार के तौर पे. टिल वन डे व्हेन आई गॉट अ कॉल फ्रॉम ऑडिबल एंड दे सेड दैट कि स्क्रिप्ट को देवनागरी में प्रिंट करा लो, नरेशन के लिए जाना है शाम को. एंड आई सेड, देवनागरी में किस एक्टर ने मांग ली? ज्यादातर हम लोग रोमन हिंदी पढ़ लेते हैं. एंड एड्रेस आया जुहू का, बच्चन साहब के ऑफिस का. एंड दैट्स व्हेन आई न्यू दैट ये मूवमेंट जो है, इसको जब बच्चन साहब जैसे एक कलाकार, एक he's an inspiration for all of us. So the other actors will look up to him. And I had it in me that I need to go and make sure that Bachchan Saab is convinced about it. And he was very, very passionate. He's very passionate about audio, as we all know. And he's always wanted to be a part of an audio show. And he had never done a horror sort of a thing.
Right.
And when Bachchan Saab heard the script, he realized what it is. He became a part of Kali Awaze. So my directorial debut had Mr. Amitabh Bachchan as his...
So he arrived as soon as he arrived.
Yeah, right, as
as
soon
an
as he
actor.
arrived, yeah.
And since then, उसके बाद से, it is still date, like Sarang said, every day actors of all category now get in touch saying that, boss, we want to do audio plays.
So quickly, how do you decide what stories you want to tell? Because now you've got to kind of, you've clicked and you have to keep clicking.
Yeah.
So what do you keep in mind when you're choosing your stories? Because both of you are now storytellers
Yeah.
on a daily basis. So how do you choose like the next project? So,
So-
I mean, how do you top a Bhaskar Bose? How do you top a, whatever, like a B. Rojgar? How do you top, what do you look for?
So it has been a little more tougher now that we are 7 years into it.
Right.
Because first of all, we like he is into a business which is more of a storyteller's business, and there are multiple platforms giving sort
Yes.
of an distribution offer to it. For us, every platform, new platform that comes in, change the game completely. Like suddenly with the reels coming in and the shortest format coming in, people are making 90-second short films, which is ridiculous. Like I don't know like how to deal with it at this age. So there are things which sort of throw you off completely. But when it comes to what we want to represent, or what we try to do, is that we on one hand try to retain our audience and give them what they like to watch, but on the other hand also expand our audience and tell stories of people who haven't been represented in a way. Berozgar happened that way. Berozgar was sort of an calculated move, but came from a very original place. Like we, because during stand-up events, we realized that our stand-up is limited to Pune, Mumbai. So we did something called Kai Bolta Hai, which was a program that we did before COVID, where we went to like the smallest pockets of marginalized communities in Maharashtra. Like we went to a red light area in Sangli, we went to Chandrapur, Naxal area and things like that.
Wow.
And we performed stand-up comedy in there, in like at a chalk, at a bar, at in a brothel and things like that.
Wow.
And sort of promoted them to use stand-up as an medium of resistance instead of just tweeting about it, fighting, being angsty. Just use humor. And so we did something called Kaya Bolta Hai, out of which 16 comics came, and then they. So during that journey, we realized there are so many stories in these villages that never will see a like and Bhadipa supporting it. So I met a girl over there called whose name was Piyu, and that's inspired B. Rozgar Sai's character,
Okay.
who was the fourth daughter in the family, and the father was extremely upset that there's another daughter, and he used to hate her. So that sort of was the germ, and but she was the breadwinner also. So can't even like really
Yeah,
have a
combat
like a
that.
yeah. So that's what inspired, and that's how we found our stories while expanding our
No, I think,
horizon.
see, like, I feel like what's happening, particularly in content, like, we are consuming so much content on
Yeah,
OTT. I think actually the more local and regional you're going, the
yeah,
more global it
Yeah.
is, quite
yes,
honestly. I
because
think that's,
because at the end everything has become same, right? Like
yes,
today you
yes,
go, like I went to US for the first time for stand up, only Marathi stand up, and I didn't feel that I'm in US. Like it felt like these cities I've seen, these people have seen,
right,
the
because of
entire world is
exposure.
yeah, the
Yeah,
because of internet entire world is becoming like known to each other.
Mm.
So even like when I'm showing something like B Rozgar, my friends who are non-Indians and have seen it because of an Indian friend, they also are like, yeah, yeah, we know this side of like India. Like we
right,
know that this happens in India. They are quite exposed to it, so it's
sure,
very much more palatable for them.
sure.
So one is while expanding the audience, the story we find, and this other one is like where we have to continue catering to our original audience too, because internet audiences that they subscribe to you because they like you in a certain way, they follow personalities and things like that.
Yes,
So then we have a show like a sketch show called Kande Pohe, which is always Pune versus something, so that our Pune audience stays intact and they are
they're
watching
happy
the
for,
same style
yeah,
of comedy and things like that. So you have to keep on balancing
balancing.
between them.
What about you, Mantra? How do you decide?
The audience decides, and
Is that a fact?
yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. Yeah. So, of course, the research goes into it. I'm glad that these the people who I work with, Audible, Spotify, they all do their research. So the research tells them what people like. We get our community responses from our listeners, but we also have a responsibility upon ourselves to go ahead and create something that we think that they will like. Apart from I would love to see the IPs that we've created, a Bhaskar Bose, then not only on a podcast, from Bhaskar Bose on stage or Bhaskar Bose on cinema, that kind of expansion. But as far as
Is
audio,
that something you're planning?
something that I wish for.
Right.
That's something that I think should happen also. But the future also belongs to a lot of education based podcasts and docu-fiction, documentary based podcasts, and the kind of shows that are coming out. May you hear Mission ISRO, which Spotify created
Right.
with Harsha Bhogle talking about it. We are working on a fabulous audio piece called
Yes.
Dakshin Gangotri,
Yes, you told me about
which
this.
is based on India's first Antarctic mission in 1983.
Right.
So the docu feature zone where people get to know and educate themselves, not just entertain themselves, is something that the digital audio will be looking forward to in the future.
And do you,
That's
sorry.
what is happening exactly on YouTube also. Like YouTube has, because Instagram Reels have become the form of entertainment. Lot of information channels are doing the best on YouTube right now.
Why do you think that is though?
Because if you don't read things in your school books, you'll have
Yeah,
to get to know them from somewhere else, no?
yeah.
Nice, but you think that and now I mean, of course, every kind of new media needs some sort of push to develop. Do you think that right now, with the opportunities that you're coming your way, it's getting caught in a little bit of trying to chase celebrities to kind of make it more saleable?
Ah, that is so true, Data. That is so true, but
Because I think
unfortunate.
that's something you've managed to stay away from.
On OTT, it's still the same,
No, I'm saying
unfortunately.
on Bhadipa,
On
for
Bhadipa,
example,
yes, we
you're
have
launching
tried.
new talent, right?
Yes, we
And
try
in that
to.
sense, you started with a lot of new talent.
Oh, but Data, even right now, Eminem Talkies takes a lot of pride in launching 95% of unknown actors, nobody who you would not have heard in the OTT space or in the film cinema space. 90% of my cast is from theater.
Right.
And
Right.
of course, you need to have those celebrities to sell your show. It's a different medium altogether. So voice actors की दुनिया अलग है आकर्ष.
Right,
It's
right.
and मैं आपको कुछ नाम सुनाऊंगा जिनके नाम सुन के आप बोलोगे कहाँ किनके बारे में. राजेश कावा, समय ठक्कर, संकेत मात्रे. यू वुडन, आप बोलोगे किनको ओटीटी पे देखा, कहाँ देखा, थिएटर पे. नहीं, ये डबिंग के उस्ताद हैं. दीज आर मास्टर्स ऑफ द डबिंग इंडस्ट्री. ऑल द साउथ टू हिंदी मूवी डब्स, ऑल
They
द
are doing
इंग्लिश
that,
टू हिंदी
right,
मूवी डब्स.
right.
These people are like the Shah Rukh Salmans of our industry. So loads and loads of respect towards them.
Nice.
Okay, we are going to move now into what is supposed to be like a rapid fire section. But it's not rapid because I'm a slow kind of guy. So I call it the,
The
slow
slow interview.
burn, slow burn.
Slow
It is
burn,
yeah.
slow burn
But
is
they're
a good
shorter
one.
answers basically because they're shorter questions.
Yeah.
But I'm going to kind of okay, I'm going to start with one and I'm going to bring it back a little bit to theater so that we can kind of end with theater.
Do we both have to answer? नहीं, एक एक करना.
नहीं दोनों को करना पड़ेगा. एक मतलब किसी में एक को ज्यादा टाइम मिलेगा, किसी में एक को कम टाइम मिलेगा. बट ठीक है मतलब
Lalia,
yeah.
go for it.
Okay.
So, oh no, so actually one very easy because, and also we've established during this, and there's things that I've even left out, but both of you, not literally, wear many hats, right? I mean, there are multiple things you do. You act, you direct, you produce, you are now doing stand-up. And among a lot of other things that you must be doing, Christmas parties you throw, which I don't get called for, but there's that. You're
For obvious reasons.
You're a Bandra hipster. You're all of that. So you wear many hats, and you as well. You act, and you've also been a voiceover artist forever. Now you're a business owner. Technically, both of you are. You're producers. Which job role do you identify with most?
Direction, screen direction.
That is what.
I would like to.
And that's like an ultimate ambition.
Yeah,
as
if
well.
everything, if I have to choose one and I have to let go everything, then screen direction is something I would like to pursue more.
And you,
Yeah, I think voice work is something for me also will remain.
as a voice artist,
As a voice artist, anything to do with audio and voice production. और कुछ रहे ना रहे, ये रहेगा. We can continue to be actors till whenever we want. मतलब चेहरा रहे ना रहे, मेरी आवाज ही मेरी
And
पहचान
for
है.
me, it's a love for the camera. Like
neither of you care about theatre basically.
I
That's
told you,
nice, yeah,
I'll
very
keep
nice.
on continuing theater, but
I
theatre
don't know
for
if I
me
can
is-
ask you any theatre questions.
नहीं नहीं,
now.
but
No,
वो
please
हम लोग
ask.
voice work is doing for audio plays
Please
only.
ask me theatre questions.
Quickly, asking you first. You spent some time doing Delhi theatre.
Yes.
What is the one significant difference between Delhi theatre and Bombay theatre?
वहाँ पे टिकटें ब्लैक में बिकती हैं.
Actually,
या वहाँ पे थिएटर के देखने वाले आखिरी में आके आपसे पूछ भी लेते हैं मेरे कमानी
मुझे
ऑडिट.
लगा वहाँ तो पास मांगते हैं. तो वहाँ तो
तो हमारे प्लेस के लिए उनके
वहाँ
place
पैसा
के
भी
लिए
फेंकते हैं ना. नहीं, नो, बट ऑनेस्टली Mumbai theatre circuit has been a different ball game for me, but in Delhi, what I really enjoyed was the true rasik, the true connoisseurs of theatre. They really value you. They value you. They will back you for a longer period of time.
the audience you're talking
The
about.
audience, they come back for
And
you.
you don't get that feeling from a Bombay audience.
But no, of course, Mumbai has been exposed to different kinds of theatre. Mumbai has Marathi theatre, Gujarati theatre, Parsi theatre, Hindi theatre, Angrezi theatre. इतना exposure मिला हुआ है मुंबई को. So मुंबई अलग नजरिए से देखता है रंगमंच को और दिल्ली एक अलग नजरिए
And
से.
as process, no, not as audience, as theatre process, what's the difference that you would have seen in Bombay and Delhi?
No, process-wise, I think it's pretty much similar. It's
Yeah.
it depends upon the directors and the groups that we work with. But because Delhi has a lot of these schools and a lot of masters who have come out
Yes.
of, मतलब you throw a stone at Mandi House and it will fall on a NSD actors maybe. So you enjoy that a lot. वहाँ पे you enjoy spending time with a lot of masters.
And Pune theatre and Bombay theatre?
Sincerity, I think it's far more like tiringly
Pune.
sincere.
In Pune.
Yeah, it's tiringly sincere. Like I won't say good or bad about
Right,
it,
right, no, sure.
but it's just that it has to be extremely sincere. Like I remember, like in college days, it was like if you come late for rehearsal, you go do chakkar laga ke rao ground ke types, like that kind of
Wow.
sincerity, discipline and sincerity. It's a lot. And so even in terms of the time that is invested in making a play,
Right.
it's like 3 to 4 months you have to give for rehearsal.
So quick question for both of you. On stage, uh, which has been your most fulfilling performance?
In Marathi, it has been this play called Charshe Koti Visarbhoy.
Which I have seen, and that was
Yes,
a
and I
fantastic
played
play. Yes.
Ashwathama in it.
Yes, that was a wonderful play. That actually is really blew my mind. But yeah.
So also Ashwathama who raps Slim Shady songs, so it was quite
Yes,
an
yes,
interesting
it
thing
was
to
an
do.
interesting.
And in and not again because you are here, but after I moved to Mumbai, Baghdad Wedding has been my favorite performance still.
And why?
Because first of all, Baghdad Wedding, I
Both,
didn't.
both. Tell me why for
So
both. Huh?
Charshe Koti Visarbhoy, like both places, I never thought I would get casted for this role. That was the like it actually threw a challenge at me. I have a certain personality and I always get casted at like agar screen pe mere ko I'm always the young guy who's left his house in search of truth.
In search of himself.
Yeah, search of himself. I'm
Yeah.
always that on
In
screen.
Hijack, same. Yeah.
Yeah, in hijack. And on stage I'm always like ऐसा थोड़ा सूफी type, थोड़ा पागल या like ऐसा थोड़ा सटकेला, like not a normal person. But Baghdad Wedding again, like it was like a really sincere, like quiet guy, like thoda ठहराव है वो सब, which I never had got casted for before you casted me in it. And for Charshe Koti Visarbhoy, it's a very verbal play. As you know, like I'm not like I'm very much comfortable with my body, but when it comes to language, I fumble a little, the way I speak and things. So it was an extremely verbose play, which Mohit allowed me to explore with my body as
Body
well
as
as
well.
words.
Right.
So that was a lot of fun.
What about you?
I think for me, my performance as the genie in Disney Aladdin
Yes, of course. Yes.
will always stay back with me. Of course, it was our own Broadway style musical and the show, the grand show at the NCPA. You were there
At
for
the
this Zero
Jamshed
show,
Baba Theatre, yes, of
and
course.
I think apart from the performances, apart from the joy of being the genie, the joy of singing all those songs that Robin Williams sang,
Right.
Alan Menken's music, to be able to dance and sing at the same time, literally, I mean, your dream come true when it comes to the Broadway style musical. But more than that, it's the happiness that it gave to people.
Yes,
It was
absolutely.
so I mean, even so endearing. I still remember that Zero show, and we finished the show, and that final bow happened, and we were still a little skeptic about how people would take a Hindi-speaking genie in a English play, and everybody loved it. वो सब ठीक है, but I still remember मैं green room से change करके when I got out and I came to the foyer and you were there and everybody was there. वो जो टाइटैनिक का जो वो फाइनल सीन था ना, जब वो केट विंसलेट दरवाजा खोलती है and everybody is just looking at him, looking at her and just clapping and welcoming him. I still remember it was so, मतलब इतना ज़्यादा भारी पड़ गया मेरे ऊपर वो चीज़ कि मैं बाहर निकला. आई एम मीटिंग यू, आई एम मीटिंग ऑल माई फ्रेंड्स, आई एम वॉकिंग अराउंड, सडनली कोई हाथ खींच रहे देख रहा हूँ, विद्या बालन's over there saying hi, one picture, and just turning around, Abhishek Bachchan's there, or people are there and like genie and all that. It was not just that. After a few seconds it got to me, and I still remember I just said, hey, I gotta go back to the green room, man. I gotta go back. I left something. And nobody knows this, but I went back and I broke down. I just had never felt the kind of love, the kind of appreciation ever in my life. So that moment pushed me to keep on performing every day for that show, which took a toll on you.
Yeah.
I mean, it was almost like a sport.
Yeah.
You were playing a 3-hour game of football. It's not a 90-minute game. You were on, you were on. I had changed my lifestyle. I'd stopped smoking. I'd started working out in a different regime altogether because I knew it's not just going there and delivering lines.
Yeah.
The actor is an athlete in that sense. And I think, so yeah, Disney Aladdin would always be very special for me.
I should end the episode on this,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
I
had
think
one more question, so I'll ask it, and then
Yeah,
they can
Yeah, they can edit it. This can go at the end.
I
yeah.
broke down वैसा
Yeah.
तेरा मेरा expression
और एक
रहेगा
हाँ
कि हम
रहेगा
लोग
और
देख
हम
रहे हैं कि क्या कहानी थी,
और बीच में वो
दाता
आएगी
और ऐसा हाँ, और पीछे जीनी का एक लाइट आएगा उस पे. So, last question
Yeah.
of this is that as an audience, an Indian production on stage that you were not a part of that blew you away.
Indian production.
हाँ तू बोलेगा मैं लंदन जाके लायन किंग देखा मेरे को मजा आया वो नहीं चाहिए
तू
मुझे।
देखा है वो
तो,
सब,
तो
तू देखा है
मैं
वो
देखा
सब.
मैं वो नहीं बोल रहा ना मैं बोल रहा इंडियन प्रोडक्शन ना कि लाइक एंड
I'll take it.
Yes.
Chahita by Mohit.
राइट
By
एंड
Mohit
एंड
Takalkar.
व्हाई
Sagar Deshmukh, for one, who just, as far as a performer is concerned,
व्हाट इज
took it.
Chahita about? Have I seen Chahita? What is Chahita about?
Chahita, याद है तेरे को?
Yeah,
about,
it's about that the favorite child.
the
in
favorite
the
child. कुरान का हिस्सा है उसके अंदर. अबाउट आई थिंक इट्स अ स्टोरी जब वो अपने बेटे की बलि देने के लिए गए थे पहाड़ के ऊपर.
Right.
एंड दैट बच्चा टर्न्ड इनटू अ बकरा.
Yes,
सॉरी समथिंग
so
लाइक
there's
दैट.
there's
कि बच्चा बच जाता है बकरा एंड वहीं से कुर्बानी शुरू होती है.
So why was that?
कुछ उसका एलिमेंट. I think it's the way the performers held it right over there. It was, of course, written in a certain way, and the silences get to you. We always kind of things, and I'm a man of words. I create audio dramas, which is all about words, but I believe words are always a hindrance. And it is the silences between the words is where the audience gets sucked in. And Chahita just sucks you in. And Sagar Deshmukh, what he's done in that play will always remain with me for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
For
what about
me,
you?
it's actually all the. There was a wave of clowning plays that happened
Yes,
in Mumbai.
yes.
And at that time, I was in Pune, and I feel so bad about it because if there's one thing that I know that I can do better in life is using my body. And I used to do.
Yeah, buddy.
That look.
Sure, buddy. Not clowning around anymore, are we?
I using my body for my own pleasure and performances, not for
Nice,
others.
nice.
Yeah, so I always thought I should have got into clowning, and I still don't know why I never did a workshop or anything. But when, especially when I seen C for Clown and
That was the first
one,
See,
yeah.
for Clown. Was that Hamlet? No,
no, and Hamlet. These are the two plays. When I watched them, I was like, I wish I was part of this.
Wow, that was heavy stuff, man. Wow. Well, thank you, Sarang. Thank you for Mantra for being
Thank
on
you.
this
and
episode.
thank you for keeping a distance.
And
safe
it was
distance.
such a civil conversation.
Yes,
and,
Which was never
Like
happened.
it
If
has,
there would be
this is
no
the first civil conversation we have ever
ever had.
Sarang, tell us if there would be no cameras in this room, what would have been happening?
had. I wouldn't be sitting in this room.
Hey guys, what's up? My name's Mantra.
And I'm Sarang, and we had a fantastic time on Adyam podcast with Unscripted with Akarsh Khurana, talking about careers, talking about our plays, theatre journey.
And a lot more.
Yeah,
and a lot more. And you can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Binge Pods, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe to Adyam on Instagram, on YouTube, and everywhere else where you find Adyam. Do watch this episode, huh?